This is irritating. I got a request from someone to show me how to make some bass noises just using Logic synths and nothing else, and other things within Logic. And they were like, yeah, on the ES2. There's a couple. I use the EFM and the ESM a little bit to make some cool bass noises. The ES2 I don't normally use for bass noises. Obviously, I have Massive and Silent and FM8 and other synths. It's funny, these are called Massive, FM8, and Silent because this is a preset that I open up. But anyway, this is one preset that I have that I made. It's not really that great. It's just a big drone essentially, and that's kind of just what you want to start with. It's got a good amount of kind of grit and noise to it and some upper harmonics. I'm not gonna go in depth about what I did for this sound. I'm just gonna leave it on here for a little bit. You can pause it and copy it if you want, just to kind of start with. This is really not the important part of making bass sounds using only Logic. So anyway, you want to get something like that. Then I wrote in a little bass line. I'm going to bounce that. Actually, sorry. I'm going to come over here and use some overdrive. And what you want to do is just use like very subtle amount. Just add something. I'm going to compress it. And I'm not sure if this matters before and or after bouncing it. I like using this guy, Opto Bass, and I normally turn it down to somewhere around 25-ish. So when you bounce your samples, you're going to want to bounce them at a reasonable volume. You don't want it to be clipping, because then when you bounce it, it'll be distorting. So I'm going to bounce that, and I'm going to call it drone. So we've got this here now. So what we can do again is come in here. And always what you're going to want to do with your basses, you're going to want to keep two separate basses. So I'm going to take this line now, unmute it, and bring it to this guy, which I'm calling sub. Sub is really simple. It's just it's an empty EXS 24, and you can turn this on and turn the drive down about like 4 or so. And we'll just show you that really quick. It's just a really nice sine wave, which we can even bring that down. And you can't really hear it, but if you bring up your equalizer, you'll see it right here. And that's where you want your sub to be, right in that range there. I have noticed I've EQ'd out pretty much everything. It's all the way to 92. You want your sub to be right around this 80. And I also pulled out the lows too, up to 30, because you can't hear that, so you just want to get rid of it. So I'm going to be layering that with that. I'm going to come over here and take a look at this sound. So there's a lot going on there. I can pull out that so it's not competing with the sub, and see what happens when I give it a little bit at 200. It's a little bit cleaner. It's kind of cool. Then what I can do, if I want this to wobble, which no one does wobble basses anymore, but if you did want something like that, those were not words. That was me not speaking correctly at all. I just duplicated that, but I'm not going to use any of this. I'm just showing you this so that you know. Bring in edit here, drop the clip in, it's now going to play that entire line on C3. It should. Oh, it's not. Got everything soloed. So it's got it turned way down because I have the sub turned way down. But then you come over here. Shit. Well, I don't want to save it, so I'm just going to minimize it. And you will assign an LFO to the cutoff. So you come over here and you give yourself a new deal. And let's use LFO 3. Come down here. Sure, I'll copy the automation. Why not? If you remember, that's at C3. So I'm going to get rid of all of this. Bring this up to C3. Stretch it out to the length of the clip. So this should be playing. So you see it's now I gotta copy that. Now it's got, a wobble to it. And I actually prefer to always do any wobbling that I do within the EXS because it's a lot more accurate. If you try to do wobbles even in massive, honestly, every synth I've tried to do anything with, it's just a little loose, and this does a much better job of getting your really even wobble there. And this right here, this little deal, this is gonna, choose the intensity of how much your wobble is going. So see, that's really intense, and that's not as intense. And then you can mess with that too. So you can automate all of that. You go into your automation, and go in here and choose from the excess. I want to use LFO rate of 2 or 3 or whichever one we just assigned it to. So that's that. Then so let's say all right, I really like that wobble right now. So I'm going to go ahead and EQ this again, but I don't want to get rid of all that. Oh, it's automated. I'm just going to delete this. So you'll go and you'll EQ what you want to hear, add some more overdrive. Again, subtle, not too much. And if you want to get really fun with it, you can do something like this. You mess around with a bandpass on top of it, and you can automate all of that. I'm not really going to get too much into it, but you'll bounce this, and I'm going to call this, well, the last one was drone, so this one's drone wobble. So now we've got a nice little wobble here. And then this is where this is really where you start to make things happen. So you're going to come in here, get in a little closer, and I want to have like one big kind of just death deal. So time stretch. Let me explain what I did right there. Holding down Option and clicking on the end and dragging it out, so that's going to time stretch that clip. You can make some pretty crazy noises like that. Cut it up, glitch it. I always set the scissors to my right click. Just makes it really easy to. I just right click, cut stuff, drag different sections, time stretch them, see what that sounds like. And then what's always good too is if you find a section that you like and you want to have it kind of lead into something, you can bounce it again double click on it, and this will bring you into this menu here, Functions Reverse. That can always get you a really cool sound. So, and play around with different EQs. Really, everything is about EQs and making you can do some really drastic EQs. You don't want to do that in your final mixes, but when you're sound designing, feel free to pull this way out here, like you can get some really crazy sounds just with the EQ. And all these distortions are all really fun to use. Sometimes I'll throw a chorus. If you go over here, modulation, put a chorus on a bass, that can always add some cool effects. You can detune it a little bit, which gives it a little more thickness. And as I always send my basses to a sample delay, because that always just thickens it up. It's got that weird EQ on right now, so that's what that is. But really, that's what it's about. Just messing with the toys that you have. Just creating a really simple bass tone, really just kind of a clean sound, and then going in. This is there's another patch that I'll just share with you. I'll open both of these. This is kind of just a good drone patch for the EFM. I'm not really going to get into it. What you can do with this one too, though, which is fun, is right now the stereo detune is not on, but I can turn that on. It makes it kind of phase from left to right. Glide is always a cool thing on basses. I really like the glide on the ESM here. And the thing too is what you do is you just make your MIDI separate so it won't use the glide, or you can set the glide and you set, say a really high note right next to a really low note. You have it jump down 2 or 3 octaves, or jump up 2 or 3 octaves, and then sample the sound of the bass going up those octaves. I mean, it's really less about the patches and more about these other kind of cool things you can do. There's this, which is always good as well. I'll just show you this last thing, and then this is it. View, hyperdraw, pitch bend, and you take a bass note, and I'm just going to get rid of this one so you can really feel this effect here. Draw in. Why is it doing it over there? Fine. I'll do it over here. Logic does some weird things sometimes. So I'm going to draw in another dot there and bring it all the way down. And we'll hear what that sounds like. Just that, and then you can sample that and pull that out and do different kinds of things. Really what you want to do is you want to make a sound, resample it, do weird stuff with it. That's really how you get the really cool bass sounds. Hopefully there's something helpful in here. This is a pretty long video. But yeah, enjoy, and if you have any specific questions, let me know. I'm going to be trying to do some more tutorials. I've been kind of slacking. So yep, I hope this helps you somehow. Great.